Good morning. How are you all? My name is Anna. I'm Anna Walker, also known as FELTit, and for as long as I can remember, I've been creating things. When I was a little girl, I would create things, and now that I'm a big girl, I create things. And while you usually see me create things with needle felting and wet felting, I knew that many of you, like me, are being safe and responsible and staying at home for the next couple of weeks. And so I thought, let's have an internet play date and let's create together. So I'm here, and I'm gonna be here from every day, Monday through Friday, for the next 2 weeks at 10 o'clock Central Time. And we're gonna create something each day. And today's creation is working with t-shirt strips. So I hope that you've got some t-shirt strips in front of you. We're going to learn how to braid, which some of you may already know how to do, but we're also gonna learn how to finger crochet, and I'll give you some ideas on what you can do with that. So without any further delay, let's start creating with t-shirt strips. Okay, so you can see that I've got a very simple braid here with t-shirt strips, and we'll start with that one. We'll come back to the crocheted chain in just a little while. Braiding has always been something that a lot of people have trouble with, and it's really simple as long as you remember some pretty basic things about it. You're always going to cross over the last string that crossed, and I'll show you what I mean. It also helps where you position things. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to get 3 new strips. So here's a red one, and here's a blue one. Oh, that's a long blue one. And here's a black or navy blue one. I can't tell which, to be honest with you. So we've got our 3 strips, okay? 1, 2, 3. We're just gonna do a simple braid to start out. So I'm gonna find the end of each one of the strips, and I'm gonna put them together, okay? So we've got all 3 strips together. Stretch them out. It doesn't matter if they're different lengths. If you want to make your braid go on and on, when we get to the finger crochet part, I'll show you how to join another strand on. But for right now, we're just gonna do what we can, braiding with these 3 strands, okay? So I'm gonna wrap it around my fingers and cross it over. And then I'm gonna pull one finger out, push these through, and then I'm gonna pull my other finger out, and I'm gonna pull. And that's an overhand knot, okay? I'm gonna do that again so that you can see it really well, okay? We've got our 3 strands. We're crossing over. I'm gonna pull one finger out, so I've got room to push those ends up through the circle we made. And then I'm gonna pull the other finger out, I'm gonna pull tight. And that is our overhand knot, okay? So we still have our 3 strands here, all right? And I'm gonna pull these down in front of me. Now, if you've got someone that can help you by holding this end, that's great, but you don't have to. You can do an easy braid just by holding it with your hands like this, okay? This is the hand that's going to be doing the moving, and this is the hand that'll hold things up here at the top. You can also take something, oh, I've got a coffee cup right here. You can take something like a coffee cup and have it hold that end right there for you, okay? So braiding is as simple as figuring out which side you're gonna start with, okay? I'm gonna start with the red, and I'm crossing it over the middle strand, and then I'm moving the middle strand over. And then I'm crossing the next outside edge over the middle strand, and I'm moving this to the center. And then I'm crossing over again, moving this out and this off to this side. See, this way we know, okay, if this is over next to this one, then this is the strand that needs to cross over. See, the middle strand will tell you which side needs to cross over next. And it's just that simple. This is how I like to set up a braid so that I can see exactly which one needs to cross over next. And if you keep the outside edges really far apart, I've got these about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about a foot apart, okay? So they're almost a ruler's length apart. And if you do that, then you can very easily see where that next cross needs to come. Now, there are people that do braids with more than 3 strands, and we're not going to get into that today because I just wanted to do a simple braid to get you started thinking about what you can create with t-shirt strips. But imagine you've got your braid made and you decide that you want to turn it into a friendship bracelet. You can tie it off and there you go. You've got a nice little friendship bracelet. Or if you want, you've got a hairband or a sweatband, whichever. You can also make this as long as you want. There are people that take braids and they sew them together so that they create mug mats or coffee mug mats. They make them into big rugs too. So there are a number of ways that you can use the braid, but I hope that with this just simple little layout, and then as you get it built up, you just move it up ahead, keep your strands going nice and far apart, and that way you know which leg needs to cross over the center leg each time, and you can build that beautiful braid as long as your t-shirt strips will let you. Okay? So that's the first part of our day. That was the easy part, okay? Finger crocheting is a little bit different. That gives you a look more like this. Now, the cool thing about finger crocheting is that you can make a strand as long as you want, and it's a pretty tight strand because it's got that braiding sort of built into it as you're creating it. We only need to use 1 strand to do a finger crochet. Now, I'm going to suggest that you make a finger crochet as long as you want it to be. Again, this is one that you could easily turn into a friendship bracelet. You could make lots of these and give one to each of your friends. You could do a hairband and you could have it as long as you want to wrap it as many times as you want around your hair. And you could even, if you wanted to, make one long enough to have your very own jump rope. Now, if you do one that long, it needs to be at least 3 times as long as you are tall in order for you to have enough for you to jump rope with. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. So let's learn how to finger crochet. I'm going to pull a strand. I'm going to pull a couple of strands because I want to show you, in addition to the finger crochet, how to join on another strand if you need to, okay? So I've got 3 different colors so you can see the join really well. And we're gonna do the join part first. Now, I didn't tell your parents to have a pair of scissors handy, but I hope that they do. If they don't, then just wait until they do have a pair of scissors so that they can help you. But what you need to do, I'm gonna slide these out of the way so you can see. See how the t-shirt strip sort of curls? Well, when you cut the t-shirt strips off the t-shirt, then you pull them and they curl right like this. It almost makes a t-shirt yarn so that you can use it for any number of things. You can crochet with it, you can knit with it. We're going to finger crochet with it, but you could also finger knit with it. And finger knitting is another way that you can use up the t-shirt strips. But I want to talk about the join first because we're going to make a long strand with these 3 colors and I want to show you how to join them. So you're going to open up that curled end, okay? And you're going to fold it over just a little bit, not much at all. We just need to fold it over a tiny bit so that we can put in, right in the center, a tiny little notch. So you see, it's not very big at all. It's just a tiny little notch. Make sure it's away from the edge. You don't want it right at the very edge or it'll split it open. So a tiny little notch. And we need to do this on both ends of each of the strands. Okay, so I'm going to do another tiny little notch on this end. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it exactly in the middle, but it does help. The closer it is to the middle, the easier it's going to be for you to be able to do your notches. Okay, now I'm going to use the black one. I'm just opening it up, opening up that curled piece, flattening it out with my fingers and holding it open, and then cutting a tiny little notch right there in the center. And again, on the other end of this one, folding it over, holding it open, tiny little notch. And now we'll do the third strand. Again, opening up that curl, folding it over, clipping a tiny notch right there. See, it's just a tiny notch. And our last end, opening it up, folding it over, clipping a tiny little notch right there. Okay, so let me show you how we put these strands together. And I'm going to do them so that you can see the two different colors pretty easily on both ends. So there's our notch and there's our notch. And we're going to take and overlap these, and then I'm going to take the other end of the black, and I'm going to push it through both notches. See how I'm pushing it through both notches? And then I'm going to pull the strand all the way down. And when it gets down here, oh, and I goofed up. I forgot to go around. See, even Miss Anna can goof things up. First thing you have to do is go around and come up from the bottom. See, now we're going to have our loop in there, and we're just going to pull it, and we'll pull it tight so that we have our strands connected. And now I'm going to get this other end of the black, and I'm going to get the blue, and I'm going to overlap them. See, they're overlapped. You can see through both notches. I'm going to take the other end of the blue underneath, so it's going to go in on the black side. I'm going to pull, and when we get down here, we just give it a little tug, and we've got that connection made there too. Okay, so now we have this really, really, really long strand here, which is good because that means that we can crochet a really nice long piece. So everyone's got their strands ready. Here's how we start. I'm gonna take and fold over, and you can see I've got about 3, 6, I've got almost 8 inches here. It's longer than we need, but I'd rather have a little longer than too short and have to try again. And just like we did on the braid, we're going to do an overhand knot. So we're gonna hold these two, hold the loose strand and the other part of the strand around 2 fingers, cross it over, okay? Take 1 finger out and push the loop up through the hole and then tug it. Now I don't want you to tug it too tight for right now because I want you to be able to get your finger and your thumb, first finger and your thumb through that hole. So I've got a lot of space, so I'm going to tighten it a little more. We want this snug but not super tight, okay? So can you see how my finger's in there? And I'm going to hold the loose end for right now, right here. This hand is going to loop my index finger over, and then I'm going to hold the ball, the bottom of it right here. Okay? Now we're going to pinch onto the loose strand and pull a loop through until we can get our finger and our thumb in there. Then we move our fingers up, we pinch the strand and bring through a loop until we can get both fingers through. Pinch the strand, pull the loop through until we can get our finger and our thumb through there. Move our finger up, pinch the strand, pull a loop through. And we're going to continue this for as long as we want to make our strand. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through. Move our fingers up. I'm going to pull my hands closer. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through until our finger and our thumb can fit in. Move our fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move our fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move our fingers up. We move our fingers up to make it easier for us to keep the tension nice and even on our strand as we're crocheting it here. But you see how quickly this forms a beautiful little chain here. This is called a chain stitch. So again, my other hand has got the yarn, the t-shirt yarn, looped over my index finger. My ring finger and my thumb of that hand are holding the chain that we've already made. And I'm pinching the strand, pulling a loop through, moving my fingers up. Pinching a strand, pulling a loop through, moving my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Now you can see we've got that join coming, and that's okay. It's just gonna blend in to our chain, so don't worry about it. We're just pinching the strand, pulling a loop through, and it might get stuck a little bit there, and move our fingers up, okay? So it might get a little tight there. You might have to readjust your hands just a little bit, okay? Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move your fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move your fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move your fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move your fingers up. You see when I move my fingers up, I hold this. I'm holding the stitch and the strand at the same time so that they don't stretch out any further. Let me show you that really slowly. I pinch the loop, pinch the strand, pull a loop through, and then I move my fingers up. My thumb and my forefinger are right here, and I'm going to hold the stitch right there, move my fingers up. I'm going to turn sideways and see if you can see that a little better. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. I'm holding right here so that the strand doesn't pull that loop bigger and so that it holds that stitch in place. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. And we're just going to continue this process until we get to the very end of our t-shirt strand. And it's just pinch, pull the loop, move my fingers. Pinch, pull the loop, move my fingers. We're getting to our next join, and I'm going to show you that join really slow again. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull the loop through, move my fingers up. See, we didn't have as much trouble with this one coming through because of where it hit during the strand. So pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, pull my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. Pinch the strand, pull a loop through, move my fingers up. We're at the end. How do we finish this, you wonder? You're not going to believe how easy this is. Because this is a series of tiny half knots, all we have to do on this end is just knot it. And it is the easiest thing ever to knot it. You're going to pinch the strand. You're going to pull it through all the way, not just a loop. And then you're going to pull tight and slide down. And that makes that last stitch into a knot. So we have our strand of our crocheted chain here, and it is ready for us to turn into whatever we want to turn it into. It could be, if you want to use a little, have mom or dad help you with a little bit of hand stitching, you could certainly turn it into a little mug rug for your coffee or your hot chocolate or your chocolate milk or your juice. You know, we'll trim this off after it's done, but you would have to hand stitch each of these into place, and you would just turn it around. If you wanted to make a really big strand to turn it into a rug for the floor, it's the same process. You're just going to stitch it on the back side, but you can create whatever you want with your crocheted bit that you've got. And like I said, maybe a really cool thing to do would be to make one long enough so that you had a jump rope that you could use during these couple of weeks when we're going to be at home. And that way you've made your very own personal jump rope. You could make them for your friends too. So that is our project for the day. Wow, that went fast, didn't it? Tomorrow's project is going to take a little bit more time, and we're going to need some salt. We're going to need some paints. We're going to need some water and a paintbrush. We're going to need a piece of paper or cardstock or watercolor paper. And we're going to do something to help us think about tomorrow being St. Patrick's Day. And we're going to learn how to make a shamrock in a very simple way. And then we'll extra decorate after our project has dried later in the day tomorrow. But I just want to thank you guys for being here with me. And I hope you'll come back for our next art lesson. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to do a shamrock for St. Patrick's Day. And if you or your parents want to learn more about this felting thing that I do, here are a few of the things that you can create with felt. You can just take a look at my website, which is stabthingsintoexistence.com, and it'll tell you all about it. I've got a YouTube channel where you can see some quick tutorials, but all the information is on the website, and there are kits available. So I hope that you've had fun today, and I hope you'll come back and join us tomorrow and the next day and the next day for the next couple of weeks for our art lesson with Anna. And I look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. Have a great day. Go make a huge chain and have some fun jump roping this afternoon, okay? Talk to you later. Have a great day.